All right, 151 product scalped for 3 times returns. This is about the new 4-pack minis and displays, which a lot of people haven't officially gotten yet. They have listed on eBay though, and I already see confirmed sales, and I'll go over kind of what's going on, and this is definitely the time to buy 151. Okay, so why am I saying it's scalped for 3 times? Well, so I looked at these are if you just type in 151 mini tins, you already see some of them. You see a lot of them use the Samsung picture, just a generic 4 tins, 4 promos. This is the one from Poke Notifies notification. A lot of the other ones are the old 5-pack one, which is not the one I'm talking about right now. And if you look at sold listings, you already see a couple of them sold. So there's two sorts of listings. One of them is the 1-pack, and one of them is 2-pack. So they sell these with 2-packs. I couldn't really get an updated image of that. If you want to see how it looks like on the website, check my video yesterday. Should be at the very beginning. But yeah, the website's kind of down. I can't even go on it. But I do have I want to Poke Notify, and I looked at a picture of the success channel, and someone did post, and they did confirm it's $35. That's how much Poke Notify said that it would be in its post. But you see confirmation here. You see quantity 2, because they come in 2 packs, so $35 each and $70 total. And what are these selling for? So on the extreme end, maybe buy the single pack. I see a single pack selling for about like 105 to 110. And you're asking, why are people paying that? Well, I'll go over that in a sec. But you see, this is a 1-pack. This is 107. And I think there's one other 1-pack over here. Yeah, this is a 1-pack over here is 105 plus tax plus shipping. It's actually like 112. So it's actually more like 110 per. This is about 110. So it's actually selling for about 110. It's actually a little more than 3x because 35 times 3 is 105. Okay, and people are also buying the 2-packs. So the 2-packs go for about with these early sales. They go for about 170 to 190. On average, it's about 180. So this one over here is at 190. This is a 2-pack. And if I go down, this is about 170. This is a 2-pack, and this is about 180. It's a 2-pack. So that's kind of where the prices are standing. And I did the math for you guys. And so why are these still good buys? Well, if you buy the single pack, is this a good price? $13 a pack for 151. Pretty good price. If you if it was before the reprints, you asked, oh, can I get like unlimited 151 packs for $13? Not a bad deal. Really not a bad deal. And you just know that like some people are gonna scalp it and they're gonna sell for some less, and you're gonna have to pay fees or whatever. For the 2-pack though, how much is it? This is the extreme example. So 180 divided by 16 is actually $11.25 a pack. 151 hasn't been that cheap in such a long time. I haven't. This isn't like prepped over here. This 11.25, but I'm gonna see when was the last time you saw 151 at 11.25 per pack. That was around here in August, and then it did this huge rise over here to what, $17? You see 17,483. So this is a really cheap deal, and this is why people are already paying it. Even though I don't really know where the market price will settle. I bet these will correct pretty fast. But there's so much 151 stuff going on, so these will correct fast. Try to get a source, and hopefully have the income to stock on 151. And these are things that are better holds than blooming waters right now, which I'm going to get into sec. So there's actually a lot of other 151 opportunities. So where are the opportunities are? You could buy online. You could try to get on Sam's Club, and a lot of other 151 items are going on sale. For example, blooming waters over here. If you look at it, it just looks like it's down $5, right? No, that's not the case. So Hobbiesville Boutique over here. I was a little tempted to buy these myself. Hobbiesville Boutique listed 12 of these for $160 plus $15 shipping. If you know how TCG Player works, I always talk about the shipping discounts. If you only have to pay one shipping cost per item per your entire order. So if you buy 12 of them, it's basically $1 per shipping, a little more than $1, like $1.25. This is basically $160 a Blooming Waters. That's down $20 from where it was before. And yeah, otherwise you do see some 175s up here. This one also, this is not as great, but this is 165 if you buy all 3 of them. And yeah, you see the prices drop. Like these were very closely, there weren't a lot of ones around 180, but you definitely see people listing these because these mini tins are classified toward the loose pack territory. And so a lot of things were loose packs in them that people just had value just because they were packs in them, they'll go down. So Blooming Wars is definitely one of them. Other things go on sale, so pack prices are starting to drop. And I said in my recent videos, pack prices have really risen lately, back up to about 17. You see the rise over here. This is, yeah, you see about $15 to $17. And 151, like you see in this 3 month period, it still did really great. Like it's still a pretty level compared to where it was before. And so pack price is starting to drop. It's been around $17 pretty consistently. Now it's down about 20 to 40 cents. So this seller has 24 packs, 1660. This one has 1670. So you do see some drops over there. I expect the pack price should drop for at least a little bit as we do get more packs available, but people are actually still buying packs. There were actually about 31 packs still bought despite like the Sam Slub thing, because people haven't actually gone the product yet for the most part. But yeah, I wouldn't pay these prices. Obviously, these are mostly ripper shippers or whatever. People haven't done don't really keep up with the 151 market. This is an extreme example, but the 151 ETB, this is a really good deal, $300. And this seller is interesting because they actually have pretty good feedback. I'm going to go over the UPC where it's a little different, but this seller has pretty good feedback. It just hasn't had feedback in a while, in about 6 months. But otherwise, it does have a bunch of sales. They just give, like, overall, it's a 99% feedback rating. So I don't know if this is an error or something, but this is like $100. This is actually $110 off for ETB. So this is really, really cheap. These things, because of the scarcity, these things have risen up so much, and you're getting a bargain based on this. What else for 151? So UPCs. So this is kind of more the normal click-based scamming thing. But yeah, UPCs over here, they're at 445, 455, really good deal. No feedback from the seller. But if you look at the price per pack, oh, this is Prismatic. Let's go down to 151 if I can. It's under Crown Zenith. That's usually how I find 151. So it's down about scroll over. So UPCs are over here, down $45. Actually, wait, I put 554. Did I? Let's see, 554. It's actually a 454. So I actually underestimated that. So this is actually $145 down. Would I buy it? Probably not, but it's down 145. And let's see what else is over here. So, and to give you a sense of how the 151 market is doing, okay, so PCTBs have been really stagnant for a really long time. And what are people doing? They're buying more. With this reprint stuff, people are actually buying more PCTBs. There's been like, let's see, there's been 5 PCTBs sold in the last 5 days. And then there was 5 sold before. There's been the same number of PCTBs sold in the last 5 days as there were. This is a 30-day graph, so in the last 25 days. I just gotta tell you, actually, that's a little off. This is about 5, that's about 7. So about the same number. I'm guessing there'll be more bots, but you definitely see the 151 PCTB demand rise. And because like these things, like there might be deals, so these things don't tend to correct a lot. Like the 151 PCTBs, like it won't like crash the way down just because there's a reprint. But people who are scared will sometimes list some good deals, and some people will take advantage of that. 151 PCTB hasn't really changed much since yesterday, but people are still buying more of these as there's a little more interest. Like this is the dip for 151 right now. Booster bundles over here, they're at $100 now. Sold 12 yesterday, and they're heading back to above 101 to 102. You can see 102 at the bottom here. You know, this was considered a cheap pack, sort of like a cheap pack, half investment, half cheap pack product. And we're getting to the point where, like, you know, people are going to run out of these, and these are going to have more of a premium in the future. Binder collections have been going up more recently. You see it's 2 sold yesterday, 1 sold today. Price has been about the same, but there's been a little more activity for binders. So you see the investor activity going on. And mini-tin displays, I usually, sometimes I just skip over this. But yeah, obviously because there's been mini-tin display, mini-tin reprints, it's not much interest in the standard one unless you're there's some opportunity, but you probably have some better opportunity somewhere else. And then Snorlax promo for ETBs, 60 sold yesterday, and it's been also rising as well. So yeah, let me know what your strategy is for this 151 reprints. Like I am gonna try to get some from, you know, I'm kind of forced to get an aftermarket. There's no other choice, but hopefully it's gonna be really, really cheap. If you get it for $80, that'd be great. $100 would be kind of nice. All right, Mega Evolution goes under a complete price collapse ? So first thing you notice is if you look at the prices, there's all red for literally every single product. The most notable one is that the cases are down $103 down to $1,500 a case. This is like if you wanted to sell us to pretty much anyone who's interested in investing at that price, like, just a week or 2 or 3 ago. A lot of them would have definitely gotten that. We're at $250 a booster box at that price, and then loose boxes, like, see, this one is down a whole $25 down 255, and then this one is at 260. So this is actually the most expensive one. It's down $5, and then you see some drops. The Gardevoir ETBs, both of them took hits. Both of them are down about $3 or $4. So Gardevoir is still at 220 and 82 for both ETBs. Lucario went down about a dollar each time, so it's like at 230 and 286. And then bundles are down about a dollar. But yeah, so what happened? So one of the most noteworthy things is that the cases, they're still selling quite a lot. People are definitely buying the SIP, but the prices still haven't recovered. You see two sellers at 1500, but this one has a decent quantity at 6. And then we get to the 1550s, which there's a couple, and then we go back 1600. So I don't know. I kind of didn't think it would drop that much more, but it does possibly feel like we might be at the bottom, because at $250 a booster box, you're getting close to, like, SV based kind of pricing, which a lot of people just don't care for. Mega Evolution is a way better set. So just based on that price point alone, it definitely feels like the bottom. And then you're also not seeing all the sellers like undercut complete each other. There's a lot of undercutting at about 1600, but like at about 1500, there's still some wiggle room and stuff. So we'll see if this is actually the bottom or not. If it gets any cheaper in this, like, man, like, buy opportunity, or like, we get ready for the booster box to be a lot cheaper like after release and stuff. And when I was looking at this, I was like, can Charizard save Pokemon? Because we know Phantasmal Flames is coming up next, and this is just the Japanese prices, but that Mega Charizard art, the really, like, pretty much the best Charizard art ever made, is selling for about, like, $700 to $800. So it says here on Pokédata. And then the gold one over here is just a little bit more. Usually the gold is actually a lot rarer, and so you're seeing just this huge premium, and then nothing else is a comparison to that afterwards. And then but the booster boxes, like, you see, like, this is at 3 of 15. Like, is this gonna last? If this was not a small set, then maybe it could save it. But yeah, I don't know. This will definitely change the momentum of how Phantasmal Flames kind of gets released. Right now, it keeps dropping, but that's kind of normal. You definitely see the drop happen a little more. These prices aren't anything too crazy. 320 to 310. Nothing too big a deal. But this is one of the most expensive, like, modern booster boxes right now. Like, like Scarlet Violet and yeah, I was Scarlet Violet and then Mega Evolutions. Just based on the recent price, I haven't checked in like a day or two, but yeah, these are dropping, and then the cases are dropping too. We do see 5 cases sold yesterday, so there's been still interest in this. But yeah, I really think it's gonna drop at release. There's gonna be a lot of opportunity price swings. I wouldn't really pre-order at these prices. But yeah, Mega Evolution, the Mega situation, like, we'll kind of see how that goes. Mega still sold 100 boxes if you add it all up, and that's still really impressive. You see 46 here, and then the second list they didn't have as many, but there's a couple. And then with the 8 cases sold yesterday, that's another 48, so it's about 90 something. And then you added the boxes from this listing, and you get about 100. So the listing price is over here. So this is at 260. It does go to 265's kind of range, and then this one over here, it's at 255, and then it goes to 270 pretty quickly. So I really think Mega Evolution will pop back. I don't know how long it'll take. Probably not too long. But it's definitely gonna pop back. And yeah, you see 8 cases sold yesterday, 6 sold today. People are still buying this. I know a lot of people are probably running out of money. Plus, there's probably a lot of good deals for some things that people want. PCTBs, Lucario sold 1 yesterday, 6 today, so that's pretty decent for Lucario. For the Gardevoir 1, 0 so yesterday, 0 so today, it's pretty sad. For Lucario normal 150 sold yesterday, pretty good demand, and then Gardevoir only sold about 20, so definitely a huge preference for Lucario over Gardevoir. Booster bundles sold 42, that's kind of normal amounts. Alright, Destined Rivals seeing some price drops, not as bad as Mega Evolutions, but still some notable ones. The most notable one, I think, is actually the PCTB dropping $12 at 335. So I want to look at that first. So it hasn't been this low in a pretty long time. It's been steadily dropping from, like, I think it never reached 500. It was like or 400. I think it was like 380 or something. It just stuck there. And a lot of the prices are around 350 still. So this is like a little bit cheaper. Cards from Kanto. If you buy all three of them, it's a little cheaper, but this one also is kind of cheap. So you're seeing some pretty cheap deals from these two sellers over here. And yeah, looks like a pretty legit seller. So a pretty good price for PCCPs. This will probably do well long term. I don't know if it's the best buy right now, but as a different colored art, it's Mewtwo. It's from pretty much one of the best sets of Scarlet Violet. So those PCTs will do well. The only main thing is that the Wild Effect card isn't really that great. And then the other notable thing was the normally to be dropped to 105. 9 sold yesterday. It's mostly just a cheaper seller over here. These are still around 117 pretty heavily to 120. Even 120 is around over here. But no one's been buying these cheaper sellers for some reason. And um, you see most people are paying like sometimes it goes to 110, but I see some 120s over there. For booster boxes are down $7. They're at 385, and you sold 4 yesterday. And there's just one cheaper seller. We always go quickly back to like the three. It's usually around 393. That's kind of the price points for and then for the booster bones really are going up. They're at $61 and they're really maintaining. You see the price increase at 51 and it's going to 61. So 20 sold yesterday, 15 sold today. And I don't know. These might just keep getting more expensive because people keep opening Destined Rivals. I'm seeing 62 at the bottom here. All right, demand spikes for Paldean Fates. So you see 19 sold today. The most sold kind of this whole month actually, except for October 12th. Someone bought I think 10 of them for $95 each, and people are trying to buy the last ones kind of under like $98, somewhere around there. We are starting to see it go back to $100. 151 bundles are also going back up, and then we also see a spike in PC ETB demand. We see 3 sold yesterday. It also matches like October 13th demand or sale. And other than that, no day has sold as much as those 3 yesterday. And the price has gone back up. There were some cheaper PCTBs for $395. It's now up $23. So I'm just gonna look at the sales for that, and you see people bought the really cheap ones, and now we're back at for like pretty much 420. Packs are still really high. I have almost $16 at 1585, and you actually see people buying some of them. You see 1585 over there, 1550 over there, and yeah, I don't know what's going on with Paldean packs all of a sudden, but the supply has just like been bought out all of a sudden. And then I guess people aren't listing more packs because if you have them in like items, like why would you list the packs? And then the ETBs, they sold 0 yesterday, but they've been selling pretty well lately. Demand supply prices are kind of flattening out about the 270s. Actually, we're now selling at the 275 range. I don't think I saw this before. Hobbiesville Boutique has a ton of these. These are really cheap actually. This is about if you divide the shipping out, it's about 261 ETB. So Hobbiesville Boutique has a lot of good deals right now. So I recommend you getting that if you want a bunch of Paldean Fates ETBs for cheap. And then bundle displays, no sales yesterday. So it's the first day without sales in a while, and prices are just kind of like around 1150 now. They're rising back up. You see the 1170s are after that. All right, Crown Zenith ETB is down about $4, but sales are still kind of decent. If you look at the chart or the list instead of the chart because it's broken, you see 2 sold yesterday and then even 1 sold today. You're actually seeing someone actually bought one for 229. So the price has been like in the teens, like 215 to 220 range kind of. And yeah, I don't know, people are still paying some higher prices sometimes, but yeah, this won't kind of last forever. This kind of started once Tornado TCG added a bunch of supply. For bundles, we're starting to see demand start to uptick again. So 1 sold yesterday after you see these 4 straight days of no sales. Supply I think increased a little bit. There's 5 bundles for about 125. This one's a little cheaper over here because you can save on shipping. So this is actually about like 117 a bundle, and this is about like 120 something. So this is like the cheapest one available if you want some bundles. And Crown Zenith PCTBs, they slowed down. So 0 sold yesterday. There's been more sales in general. And I'm just waiting for someone to buy more. But the price ladder isn't really that great right now. Like you see these two sellers trying to undercut each other at 442. I said yesterday it can go to 450, but it's not really the biggest price rise. Seeing Sky, you're seeing demand spike yesterday. 4 sold. We haven't seen 4 sold since like October 8th. So it's the most sold in a while. 2 sold today. And unfortunately, like everyone just undercuts jam sneakers. So they always have 8s. And it really keeps seeing Sky down. And then seeing Crown Zenith packs, 20 sold yesterday, 20 sold the day before that. Um, Actually, 40 sold yesterday because I see another 10, 20 packs over there. So 40 sold yesterday, so that's more Crown Zenith packs. But it's just hard to get out of this $14 price range. There's just too many people around this price point. All right, so I talked about the 151 opportunity, and so is Prismatic a bad buy? Well, 540 packs sold yesterday, so maybe that'll give you some input. See this, you see this big spike over here at 248. If you add it up, it's actually 270. But today is misleading because someone bought a whole 216 packs today. That brings the grand total of yesterday and today each about 260. We won't be exact. I actually calculated it's 271 yesterday, 268 today. So it's 540 packs total. So ton of packs were bought. Pack prices are still around 880, and there's about 100 packs left, and until it rises a little more. But Prismatic is still also a obvious buy still, as it's just gonna be really cheap. It's not gonna be very cheap forever. This is the kind of slow periods still get Prismatic, and if you compare everything else, it's just not worth it to get a lot of other things like 151, Paldean Fates, and especially sets come out and they go down to closer to $10 a pack. Great, like the 151 reprint right now, but otherwise, yeah, Prismatic is still a really good buy. This EV promo has been getting a lot of attention lately. So you see another 75 sold yesterday. This reminds me of like demand numbers before. This thing has sold so much, it's kind of hard to see a difference in the 3 month graph. I do see this little spike over here. You see it was about 100, kind of in the 140 range, and now it's at the 200 range right now of sales. So this has been getting more attention. As I mentioned before, this is kind of dip, and people are buying the dip for this. And let's see, Etbs. There's kind of some weird error on TCG Player. I don't know. I refreshed the page. Like I'll refresh it right now if you want. If you don't believe me, but unless it just fixes it. So it actually says 130. I don't really get it. It says 130. It was actually 131 before. My update to that. And yeah, I don't know what's going on because maybe it's caching or something. But yeah, these are still like 139, and sold about 16 yesterday, which is still fine. And these are still hovering around 140. For the booster bundles, they've been selling very steady around 60 per day, and sometimes it rises like 100. These have been very steady at also $60. But I'm finally starting to see $61. So these are possibly finally starting to rise. I've heard we had a lot of bundle reprints, but that happens at 151 too. So we're just following the same pattern. SPCs, I feel like they've been selling more. They sold 3 yesterday, 3 today, and they had this spike of 8 and 5. And I'm just waiting for these to kind of rise out of the 310 kind of range. PCTBs sold none in the last 2 days, but then sold 2 today. So there's still investors who are buying this because they know it's going to do well long term. And then the Lucario boxes sold 7 yesterday, still around 120, and they did go up. There was a seller who sold a little cheaper, so that up $4. PCTBs are down $10 despite the sales. Super Premium is down 4, and then bundles are down about $1 or something. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.